Hi, I'm Mary. I work in the children's library and I am here for the mystery box opening. I requested from my fellow librarians some nonfiction books this month. I do like nonfiction, particularly on a lot of current issues, so I'm ready to see what they came up with. Let's dive in. Okay. Looks like there's quite a few in here. Okay. And so far, I do not see any that I have already read, which is really remarkable. Actually, that's very good. All right, first one up is A Little Devil in America. Okay, for a minute I thought it might be a bio, but it's not. And it seems like it's about Josephine Baker. Okay. The author of A Little Devil in America is, and I am probably going to massacre this name, Hanif Abdurakib. I have no idea if that's how you say the name, but that's what I came up with. And my second book is If God Still Breathes, Why Can't I? Subtitled Black Lives Matter and Biblical Authority. And the author of this one is, sorry, my fingers aren't working, Angela Parker. And it says it's a challenge to the doctrine of biblical inerrancy that questions how Christians are taught more about the way of whiteness than the way of Jesus. That's very intriguing. Very intriguing. Next one up is The Lakota Way, Stories and Lessons for Living by Joseph M. Marshall III. Kind of an older book, but it sounds interesting. Storytelling, history and folklore for the Native Americans, how they pass on their wisdom and their philosophy. Going to run out of room real fast here, but next up, The Year Without Summer. This is a book I've been meaning to read. The Year Without Summer, 1816, and the Volcano That Darkened the World and Changed History by William K. Klingeman and Nicholas P. Klingeman. And this is what happened, the climate changes that happened as a result of a volcanic eruption in Indonesia back in 1816. Again, a book that I've always wanted to read, so that's probably going to end up in my final pile. We'll see. Next up, Don't Make Me Pull Over by Richard Ratte. Oh, this sounds fun. The Informal History of the Family Road Trip. Yep. Okay. Anything that's about going on the road across this country is of interest to me. That's one of my favorite things to do. I've been cross-country 5 times now. That's not nearly enough. Next up, Mediocre, The Dangerous Legacy of White Male America. And this is by, another name I unfortunately am not good at pronouncing, but we're going to come up with that. It is by Chioma Oluo. And I have looked at this book on the shelf more than once. Next up, The Black Church. This is Our Story, This is Our Song by Henry Louis Gates Jr. I love Henry Louis Gates Jr., so that's a good start. And I've heard him talk a little bit about where he grew up and how important the church was. Might be another keeper. I don't really seriously have time. Good thing that winter is here and we're going to get through Christmas and I'll have plenty of time to read. Next up, 400 Souls. What's it say? It's Community History of the labels are covering it. A Community History of African America from 1619 to 2019. Edited by Ibram X. Kendi and Keisha N. Blaine. 400 Souls. Sounds kind of intriguing. Just a little blurb on the back that already told me something that I didn't know, that there were people of color here in 1619 off of Cape Cod. Interesting. Oh, here's a good one too. Apple, Skin to the Core. I actually have this on my to be read list. It's a memoir in words and pictures by Eric Gansworth, and it concerns a young man who grew up as a Native American and what it's like to be part of two different cultures, white America and indigenous America. I have a feeling I'm going to have a much longer to be read list soon. Okay. In America, How to Slowly Kill Yourself and Others in America. This is essays by Kisa Lemon. I don't know any of this, all new to me, but it looks pretty good. All right, last physical book. I've got piles of paper in here. Trapped Under the Sea, One Engineering Marvel, Five Men, and a Disaster 10 Miles into the Darkness by Neil Swidey. Swidey? Don't know. I'm going to go Swidey because it's only one D. Huh. Wow. All right, this one's very, oh, and it's under Boston Harbor. The dirty, dirty harbor. Okay. Lots of paper. Let's see what we have. Kathleen Bellew, Bring the War Home, the White Power Movement in Paramilitary America. Yeah, it sounds like anything you can read on any newspaper page or good magazine articles, or now an expansion. I actually have read about that book. Again, another one that has interested me. So I can tell that my fellow staff members done a great job here. Next up is This Is One Way to Dance by Sigel Shaw. She explores culture, language, family, and place as she reflects on what it means to make oneself visible and legible through writing in a country that struggles with race and maps her identity as an American, South Asian American, white of color, and feminist. Wow. All right. She's lived here for a long time. Autobiographies, memoirs, I like those, so that should be fun. All right, Carrie, that's C-A-R-R-Y, A Memoir of Survival on Stolen Land. Oh yeah, I did another one I've read about. Toni Jensen grew up in the Midwest around guns. She learned how to shoot. She's also a Métis woman, and this is her, well, in Carrie Jensen maps her personal experience into the historical, exploring how history is lived in the body and redefining the language we use to speak about violence in America. Sounds heavy, but good, and probably something a lot of us should read. And next up is Poet Warrior, a memoir by Joy Harjo, another Native American one. Good author. She's the poet laureate, or has been the poet laureate of the U.S. So this one could be a good one. I've read some of her poetry. Would be interested in more. Yes, this is a book that I have on request. It's pretty popular, so apparently it's going to be a while. It's called Facing the Mountain. It's by Daniel James Brown. And it is a true story of Japanese American heroes in World War II. Definitely a book that I'm intending to read. So, another good choice. And last but not least, I assume, is A Mind Spread Out on the Ground by Alicia Elliott. Half-Breed, a racial biography in 5 parts on seeing and being seen. Yes, the Mohawk phrase for depression can be roughly translated to a mind spread out on the ground. Sounds intriguing. Very intriguing. So that is all the books. Now, it looks to me like, as I said, my fellow workers are on target. The hardest part is going to be choosing. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to be making a long list, but I'll probably, right now, I think I'm going to, pull them all out? No. I'm going to choose just 5 right now. And all the ones that are on paper, I can't choose for the moment just because that means we don't have the book in here. We'll have to put those on hold request, which I will be doing. But for today, I'm just going to pick some that I will take home with me. Well, I'm going to start with a couple that I have, as I said, had on my TBR. Apples Into the Core. This one, The Black Church by Henry Louis Gates. Don't make me pull over. It looks like it might be lighthearted enough for right now when heavy reading is harder to do. And, oh yes, I did want to read The Year Without Summer, 1816. And is there something else here? What about How to Slowly Kill Yourself and Others in America? Yes, so that, I can't believe I got that decisive that fast. This is my right now pile, this is the pretty soon pile, and this will be the when they come in pile. So, I don't think I'm going to discard any of them ultimately. So, thank you to all my friends and staff. You too can have this kind of a fun experience if you just call, talk to our librarian, and make a wish list, or they'll come up with a list for you with just a little bit of guidance, and you too can have a box of treasures waiting for you. Bye for now.